What is up, guys? Oro here, gonna show you how to get through the first encounter of the Prophecy dungeon for those juicy Relentless rolls and Prosecutor rolls pretty easily on Warlock here. As you can see the build here, we're really gonna be leaning into that Ember of Empyrean to get our restoration back. Karnstein's got a pretty big buff a while back. Every melee kill is gonna give you restoration now. You'll be able to refresh that with the Abyss Defiant there. As well as finishers will give you restoration types too. Makes you pretty hard to kill. Can't stress this enough. This build is absolutely amazing. So the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to show you two different ways to do this. There's a skip here in the first section that we can do. I'll show it to you just after this portion here. But I'm going to show you how to do it naturally first. So obviously we have to get our moat here. Now the big thing to remember is there are certain rooms that are easier to get our moats in. Like this very first room is probably the easiest room to get the dark moats in. You can carry those moats for quite a bit of distance. So it's actually better to try and get your dark moat in this first room for the second room and then just carry it from room to room. As you can see, the Karnstein's here keeping us alive. Our melee kills proccing Curse Thrall, and then the Abyss Fire also has Incandescent on it. So you're getting double dipping those explosions. Really, really good for adversaries, especially on a melee focused build like this one. Now you can run healing grenades with this. I personally opted for solar grenades just because it makes one phasing this first boss a little bit easier, because with the artifact you can use those solar grenades to debuff the boss for some extra damage. It really does not matter what you run. You can run whatever you are the most comfortable with. If you feel more comfortable with the restoration, by all means use the healing grenades. So here's the strat I was telling you about to carry that dark moat from the first room to the second. This room is a big pain. Big pain to try and get that dark mode in. It's much easier to make light in here, and it just is creates a faster flow if you carry that dark mode from the first room to the second one here. So the other big part of this build is going to be our Well of Radiance as well as the Lament. Well of Radiance will actually allow us to bypass that boss's big Cabal shield, as well as the taken goblins that are going to shield him, because it'll actually allow us to cut through that shield so he won't immune any of the damage. Alright, so here is the skip for the dunking of the moats here. You're going to go in the first room, jump on this globe, get a little heat rises action. You're going to want to hug the left side of this tube. If you try and go straight up it down the middle, you'll kind of clip into it, and you won't be able to glide up it very smoothly. You'll probably run out of heat rises before you actually make it to the top. I jump to the actual starting point over here. Mainly because if you try and come in from that other side, sometimes it will just start the encounter right away, and I want to get my flag. However you feel more comfortable doing it. You can actually use the skimmer to get up that tube, I've seen as well, if you have that. But whatever you feel the most comfortable with. It doesn't make a huge difference on time, it's only like a minute or two. Getting into the encounter, the first thing you want to do is look for Scions. The reason you want to look for these Scions is because you want to try and get restoration immediately, so you can keep it flowing throughout the encounter. Now you can refresh it either from solar kills or by getting another melee kill. Scions are a one-shot on melees here. I would recommend trying to get a finisher wherever possible, because that restoration type 2 is really nice to have. Really makes you unkillable, especially given that this is a big season for solar. So the easiest thing I find to do with these moats is to stay in the middle. And the reason I like to stay in the middle is mainly because the boss has less of a chance of pushing you off the edge if you stay towards the middle of the map. When you have to actually go into the edges to get those dark motes, as you can see here, I almost got blown off, it gets really dangerous. So I try and bait the boss to one side and then go back to the other side and use the architecture to my advantage to keep him from booping me off. That way I don't have any unfortunate accidents going on. See here, not having much trouble staying alive. Can't stress this enough. Carnage Fiends are excellent now. You can use them on any build, but they really synergize well with Solar. So I would highly recommend using those here. Sunbracers are very good for the ad clear, but the ad clear here, the enemies are endless. I mean, they're not going to stop spawning, so I would rather be able to survive them than actually clear them, because then I can just keep chaining my restoration off those ads. I know that Sunbracers are really good for that as well, but Carnage Fiends are just more reliable, because sometimes that snap doesn't always do what you want it to. Had some bad experiences with that. So once we hit damage here, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to drop the well either right on the boss or right next to him, and immediately go into almost lament. As you can see, I kind of scuffed my damage here. We'll be fine, I still get the one phase off here. You should be able, with lament and that solar grenade on most runs, to kill him before the well even runs out. It's not even close. I just kind of scuffed my damage phase here quite a bit. As you can see, no problem getting through those shields because of the Well of Radiance there. Now, if the well runs out, try and kill the Scions as much as possible, and, you know, it should be a pretty easy one phase regardless. So, but yeah, it's quick, fast, easy farm. It takes about 6 minutes to finish up, and yeah, great to look, guys. Catch you next time. GG's.